G'day guys, answering some of your questions from my Instagram Q&A over the next few days. Our first one comes from T. Gibbons. He says, how do Melbourne strengthen their right side defence? And look, I could have seen this coming, people asking about this. And look, the reality is Melbourne, they will sort out their defence. They will be completely fine. Look, they just played the Parramatta Eels missing a lot of their troops, the Melbourne Storm. As I've said, Harry Grant's missing, Branko Lee's missing, Dale Finucane's missing, all these guys. Off the top of my head, I think they conceded, 14 points? Considering Parramatta, these are one of the high-octane offences. Yes, it was in the rain, I understand that. 16 points they conceded, sorry. Look, they conceded, 12 of those 16 points off kicks, off bombs that Micah Sivo jumped over the top of George Jennings. Now, George Jennings, he's a really capable player. A lot of people have been very negative on him this week. Obviously, he didn't compete well for those balls, no doubt about it. Look, if there's any week I'm going to give an exception to someone, it's George Jennings this week in the pouring rain with Micah Sivo leaping above him. I don't think there's many guys that would have stopped Micah Sivo from catching those balls and scoring, to be honest with you. George Jennings had pretty poor effort, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's a huge defensive issue for the Melbourne Storm. It wasn't great the other night, but don't overreact to it. Yeah, you got to remember, these guys, they spent the entire preseason with Branko Lee at right centre, Remus Smith on the wing. Yeah, it's a big difference putting Remus Smith in there over George. I don't think they see Remus as a long-term centre. I think he will be a winger. I think he's going to do really good things there. A guy that's a specialist in the air. I think this is a big part of the reason why the Melbourne Storm brought Remus Smith down there. They're missing Vunivalu. He's going to be great in the air. So don't panic too much about the Melbourne Storm's right edge. I think they'll surprise you over the next few weeks. And the reality with the Melbourne Storm is that if you're not defending well, you will not be in that side. Full stop, yeah. We saw Branko. He didn't make this team at the start of last year. He dropped out once or twice with injuries and whatnot, and there was a couple of games where defensively he was poor, and in the interview I had with him, we spoke about that. I openly said to him, I thought you were gone after this game. He went, yep, so did I. I thought I was burnt bread. I worked hard on my defense, and it improved out of sight, and it really did. And this is what you'll see from the Melbourne Storm. It wasn't an ideal game for them the other day, but for us to assume that their right side defense is in all sorts, I don't believe they are. It was a one-on-one contest in which Mako Sivo, one of the best players in the air, off two fantastic pinpoint kicks, got the better of another individual. Don't overreact thinking the Melbourne Storm's right edge is shot. Don't go out this weekend and put all your anytime first try scorers on the Penrith's left edge, because it's not going to be the reality. It was a one-off situation. Don't overreact. If tries are off kicks, it's a little bit different. If they would have scored 3 tries down that edge without putting in a kick with just hands where they're getting the advantage and there's bad reads and they're missing simple tackles, then we've got ourselves an issue. But the reality is they were off kicks. They were one-on-one contests. In every one-on-one contest, there's going to be one winner, one loser. George, he was just a loser in both of those, George Jennings. He was the loser by far and away, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't overreact to this situation. I guarantee you, if a kick goes up for George Jennings this week, he's not going to stand and watch it. He's going to make a play at it. Even if it means forcing an error, he's going to make a play at it, yeah. But as I said, not many guys are jumping over the top of Mako Sivo. Most guys would have made it harder than George, don't get me wrong. I understand that. But don't sit there and think you've worked out the Melbourne Storm. Oh my God, they're going to leak points down their right edge. The dynasty's over. Bullshit. It's just getting started all over again. Branko will come back in. Remus Smith will go to the wing. They'll be okay. And then I guarantee you, because they are the Melbourne Storm, George Jennings, he won't put in another performance like that. He got put on show there. No doubt about it. It's happened to plenty of guys in the future that have bounced back. I've got no doubt George Jennings will. He's a fantastic guy coming out of his own end. He's not afraid to roll up his sleeves. He's got a lot more to offer, and he's a much better player than what you saw last Thursday night, which was essentially the worst-case scenario. Don't panic. The Melbourne Storm, they're not falling apart. It was a one-off, one-on-one event there. That's all there is to it.